Today I'm excited to bust into another grading reveal, but this one it's a little bit different, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the most passionate content for card collectors on YouTube and possibly the whole entire internet. As usual, I am your host, Jake Roy, 90s B-Ball Cards here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, a little bit of Twitter, a little bit less and less and less of TikTok. Alright, so first off, the elephant in the room, you might hear my voice is a little hoarse. I lost my voice for a little while, so I'm coming back from that, but good enough to get on camera with you. So really excited to bust into this. So this is going to be a grading reveal from our friends at Gradingsports.CARds. So Ethan Janes has a kind of a rock hard review process. This one actually has subgrades for your cards as well as the overall grade. So something that I wanted to try out, and I wanted to share the results with you. A few cards in here. Well, I've got two copies of each card, you'll see, and wanted to see which one, if either of them is better, you know, and if I want to submit them or what I want to do with them. So we'll talk a little bit towards the end about some of the use cases that I think this service is good for, and my overall reaction. So we're going to bust right in, and hopefully we get some good news with these cards. Let's see. Alright, I got a nice box here. Should be plenty of space for the 10 cards. Let's hope I'm better opening this than I've been with the PSA boxes. So let's crack right in. Right, here we go. Some filler paper, recycling friendly. All right, well packaged as I would expect. No unnecessary tape there. I'm going to leave this off to the side. This is probably my packing list, but just in case it has any grades revealed on there, we will leave that to the side. Painter's tape, always a must. Let's see if this is all one continuous piece. It is not, but it's easy to slide them out. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to start from the back. So we will be able to see the subgrades, but I'm going to try to keep those off to the side. And let's see, there's going to be a lot of duplicates here. Like we talked about, this is kind of like a pre-screen for me. Anyway, that's kind of how I treated this, but you know, this was the full service, so we've got the subgrades on the back, and we'll get the final grade on the front, and we'll see. Oh, looks like they're in big team bags, so let's get them out of those. We'll do one at a time. All right, here we go with the first Iverson Triumvirate. Got a 7. So this is the luminescent, I mean. So that one is probably not going to be sent off to PSA. Not terribly surprised that, you know, a lot of die cuts, a lot of laser cuts going in there. This one, looking at the subgrades, I'm guessing it's about the same. Yeah. Okay, so, you know, not too thrilled with that, but that's on me. That's not on him. This one, I'm skeptical. I don't think this is going to do well. An 8? Okay. We'll see how the next one does, see if it's any better or worse. 7. Okay, so these ones definitely had like a heavy film on the front of both of them. So, you know, trying to do what I could with a microfiber to kind of clean that off. But, you know, definitely if I'm going to send one, it would probably be the higher one. You know, I have to debate if I'm going to still send either of those in. But, you know, this is one of the things where it can help you make those determinations and, you know, save you a little bit of heartache, heartburn, and money in the long run. Alright, so here we go with one of the LeBron New Heights. Got a 9, or no, City Heights. 9, I like that. Okay, so again,
we'll have to debate. I think typically with these, like the value's not too strong on the LeBrons, and these are kind of like a fringe rookie. So I think like 10s are pretty much the way you got to go if you want to make your money back, depending on where you're sending. So this one also got a 9. So this is a case where I'll have to decide if I want to send both in, but I'll study the subgrades a little bit closer. We can look at them actually together here. So we've got 8s for both on centering, 9 and 9.5 on the corners, 9 and 8.5 on the edges, and a 9.5 and a 9.5 on the surface. So I would say this one is probably going to be the one, if I'm sending either of them, that I would probably gamble with, but we'll see. All right, so here we go with one of the promotion pennies. 8 on that one. I didn't have terribly high hopes, but again, if I'm going to grade one, I want to be sure I was sending the one that I wanted to get. So let's see, the next one here, a 9. Okay, so I'll have to, again, take a look and see if I want to send either one of those in, but it would probably be the higher one with the 9. I'm going to be interested to see the subs here. 9.5 for both on centering, 8 on corners, 7 on corners, 8 on edges for both, and then the surface of a 9 and a surface of a 7. So I think the surface was probably the biggest difference between the 8 and the 9. All right, so the last two that we have here, I've got 4 copies of this card now. One is in a PSA 9, one's a BGS RCR of an 8.5 that, I'm kind of kicking myself for having, or no, it was a BGS RCR of a 9, kicking myself for not having slabbed that, but, I still can. So we'll see if either one of these warrant slabbing. The bottom corner on both of them seem pretty soft, so we'll have to see. Got an 8 on the first one here, okay, not bad, honestly. And then an 8 on that one as well. So again, let's look at the subs and see 9.5 for both on centering, 7.5 and a 7 on corners. We've got a 7 on edges and a 6.5, and then a 9 on the surface and an 8.5. So I mean, if I'm going to send one, it's going to be this one. But again, these are low pop cards. And the PSA 9 that I have is a pop 2 with none higher, so there's no 10s. So I might roll the dice and see if I want to send that in. But overall, this is kind of what I was anticipating, because these were ones that I was not very comfortable sending off without getting this pre-screening. So really, really glad that I did, and it gives me a little bit more assurance if I'm going to send some or not.
All right, so that was a lot of fun. So some of the grades not so great, some of them good. No 10s, which again I never expect those. But the lowest only being 7s. Those aren't great, but they aren't as bad as they could have been. Those were very delicate cards with a lot of edges that could go wrong. So, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on, what you saw here. My feeling was I like the packaging. The turnaround time is phenomenal. And I really do like the subgrades, because in the case like that LeBron, where both were 9s, it really helps me to look at those subgrades to see if there's really just one that I want to send away, or if I do want to send both away. And in this case, there is one that I would prefer sending for grading and keeping the other one raw and keeping that in my collection. So, this is where those subgrades I think really do come in handy for making a decision. With the price of grading from folks like, PSA and SGC, just to name a couple, going down, pretty consistently at this point. And, I think in some cases you can get your cards graded for as low as $15. It makes it less and less economical for you to go ahead and, do a kind of pre-screening service. But I think those $15 price points, those are for, bulk submission, stuff that's going to be under the $199 threshold. Obviously with SGC, they don't do the same declared value type of ranking. But if you're looking at doing PSA with a high value card, or some cards that, like these are higher value, but you're not really sure and you don't want to go and pony up $50 to send it at a higher level for 2 cards and one of them come back as a disappointment, I think this is a good option for some of those higher value cards that you don't want to take all the risk of sending away to a place like PSA, where you're going to get upcharged if it's more expensive, you know. So I think it just helps you make that decision. So that's kind of the use case that I think this would be good for. And again, you're not adding a lot of time with the turnaround time being good, and you're getting those details with those subgrades and everything. So that's kind of my thought. That's my thinking of how I might use this in the future. And it also could be helpful, if you just want to know which cards in your collection are in better shape. Sometimes you can choose, I have a lot of duplicates. You can choose to send them to somebody like him and keep them both raw, but decide which one you want to keep in your collection. So I think those are a couple of the use cases that might make sense for some people, but let me know down in the comments your thoughts. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think, because I think this is something new for a lot of folks to see, and I think it's something that we'll see how it proves out over time and how people tend to use it. So that's what we got today. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any videos in the future. New videos dropping once, sometimes twice a week. We have looks into my PC, 90s box and pack openings, grading reveals, occasional collector interviews, occasional show reviews, and so much more. Thanks. We'll talk later.